And we're doing completion certificates, and we're starting with a screenshot of not Moodle. I'm in Krita again. I swear I do not work for Krita. I seem to be publicising them a lot. It's just that I have dabbled over the years with various graphics programs, and I'm okay with Photoshop, but it took me years and years and years. If you're not doing it full time as a trainee graphic artist, the learning curve is really steep, really, really, really steep. And I do believe that educators can only benefit from knowing how to use one or two little graphics programs, preferably fairly simple, because you're not going to be doing to scale replicas of the last Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper. You'll be quite happy with something that will produce badges, certificates, and small graphics elements like buttons and so on. If you're good at drawing, you can do little elements like a vase, a belt, a cup, whatever. You can draw these things and import them into your courses if that's what you need. But it's more than likely that at a certain point you might need to edit images that you found. You found open source images. You can use them for your course, but they're not quite perfect. And so being able to use a graphics program becomes really useful. It gives you the freedom to crop, to change colours, to add elements, to remove elements. But I say this really aware of the fact that they are complicated creatures. This is a simplified one. You can see the number of tools and things that are available here. And this Krita is an easy one. Photoshop is quite scary if you've not had experience with it, and it takes, I think, probably years to become really good at it. So my suggestion is Krita, but there are simpler. I'm sure there are simpler out there. Because I've been trying to learn how to use them for years, this is the most basic one that I would use regularly for things like certificates or buttons or just quick editing jobs. And what I've done, and I've spared you having to watch me do it, is the certificate for my first level of senior English. I'm going to assume there'll be various levels, and this would be, I would imagine, that I would want to issue a certificate of completion for each level. The final product is rather sad. It's got really sad colours. And what I was aiming for in the background was a kind of filigree type effect, and it actually ends up looking like a lace doily. And considering this course is aimed at senior English for sort of mature adults, people, I get grown-ups, middle-aged people, elderly people, not kids, not teenagers, not university students. It's not meant for people who are studying for exams or studying for language certificates. It's meant for older people, but I've fallen into, accidentally, and I'm in that category myself, I'm getting quite elderly, it's fallen into the category of patronising with sort of stereotypical, what appears to be the lace doily that your granny crocheted and stuck under vases on the piano. And that's not what I was aiming for. The effect was supposed to be a filigree effect. I would say it's not been particularly successful, but I'm going to keep it anyway. I like to learn from my mistakes. And I saved it as a PNG, because PNG and JPEGs are a couple of the formats that Moodle will allow you to upload as a background image. So this is, in actual fact, is the background image to a certificate. The wording is all up at the top. Certificate of Completion, Senior English Level 1. It occupies the top third, and that has been done deliberately because I need to leave space for Moodle to insert username and date and anything else I want to pop in there through Moodle. So elements which need to be customised and made for each individual student. So if we leave Krita I'll show you what it looks like now that it's been uploaded. And the reason I've skipped forward, but I will show you the stages, is because the positioning of these elements is a slow and painful trial and error process. And it took me a long while. I was just going to delete this and start from scratch to show you how. And I'm going to kind of do that, but I'm not going to make you sit and watch me get awarded to first here, then here, then here, then here. It's a wee bit slow and cringy to watch, so I'm not going to put you through that. So where is this actually housed? So what we're on actually is, let's see, we're in site administration, general. In general, we get manage certificate templates, and there is the one that I showed you earlier on. So let's go back and let's pretend that one doesn't exist, and let's add a new one. I'm going to give it the name, I'm going to tell a fib, I'm going to call it Senior English Level 2. It's not actually, but we put it into our Senior English category, and the page width and height are the kind of default ones they give you. Therefore, when you're working on your graphics program, if you're doing it with Canva or something like that, that's possibly easier to manage. Those are the dimensions you're going to want to note down and stick to. 297 millimeters by 210 millimeters by height, so it's landscape style default, but of course you can customize it, you can change it if you want. I'm not going to do that. Let's have save. So I've given it the different names so that I don't get I don't confuse the system with the fact I already made Senior English Level 1. And I'm going to add an element, and I'm going to add in image, and I'm going to call it background. I'm going to go grab it off my computer. No, I'm not. There we are. And there it is there, PNG. I'm going to give it a name, save as cert complete, as in certificate for completion. I'm not worried about licenses. People can help themselves to it. I really don't care. I should have put open source. Like I said, none of these masterpieces I've done actually are masterpieces. Can't imagine anybody would want them. But if they did, I would be flattered. So it's taken a little while to upload it because it's quite a big image. And I must remember to click use as a background image, otherwise it's not going to work. Save. And there it is. Okay, so then we go to, I'm really sorry about this pop-up. This is what happens when you live in Europe. Because of privacy laws, every single refresh of the page produces information on privacy laws. Add element. So I've got a border. I put a border in using my graphics program, but I could have done it that way if I had a code. I want the date. I definitely want the date. So I'm going to call it originally date. Issued date. Yes, that's what it's. I'm not an expiry date. Date format. My students could be Italians, so I'm going to just leave it like that. And choose, this is again trial and error, unless your memory, okay, something like Times Roman, everybody knows what that looks like, but you might not know exactly what these other things look like. I'm going to go for Courier bold oblique. I'm going to make it bigger though. This is the date. I'm going to make it 36. This colour is absolutely no good. I would, because I'm a stickler for these things, I would actually decide my colour scheme beforehand, and I would have all the colour codes ready, so I've just popped them in here and I'll get exactly the same, the exact shade that I had in mind. So I'm going to do it a little more roughly. I'm going to do this reddish plummy colour. That'll do. And now this is the tricky bit. Text alignment centre. So this is the date. Yes, I want it in the centre, but I could put it to the left or right. And this is the annoying bit. So let's put 100 millimeters here. Sorry about that, hit the microphone. 50 here. And see the width. I think you can force width. I'm going to try this one out. I'm going to put 30, see what happens. That's just 3 centimeters, that's not that much. Let's try 50. Let's see what happens. Thinks about it a bit, and see, there's your problem. It's, okay, so the width, I've constrained it too much. It's too far up, so I need to go back into the cog to edit. And this, now you're beginning to, so that's just not going to be it. Let's put 100. But I think I can leave it as just 0. And it has to come further down, so I'm going to put 100 and let's put 110. See what happens. Aha, but it's not in the centre. Why is it not in the centre? I think the mistake might be this width. I'm just going to leave it as 0. Save. See if that is better. That is not better. It's still off to one side, and I don't know why. So now you're beginning to realise why I speeded it up, because you just have to keep trying this over and over and over again. I don't really like it there, actually. I'm going to stick it right down the bottom. This is the last time I alter it, I promise. I think it would be like this. This should take it right down to the bottom. Yes. And I'm thinking maybe I need to make that 110. That'd be the X position, the X, Y, and Z positions. I never remember which of which. Yeah, that's it. Okay. What else I'm going to put in? I'm going to put in, I could put in a digital signature if I wanted. The image I've got, dynamic fields. I don't know what dynamic fields we mean here. I'm going to ignore that, and I'm going to go for text, element name, awarded, and the text is, oops, sorry, I keep hitting the microphone. What are awarded to? Let's spell it correctly, because that. What did we have? Free Sans. Let's stick to Free Sans. I'm not fussing about stuff too much just now. Let's make it nice and big. It's a 50. Let's go for something blue. Save. Where's it going to be? It's right up there. So it's central. Let's say we like the font, but I need to bring it down. Back into the cog. Show more. It's this position here. Let's try 110. See where it brings it. Okay, and here the name needs to go. So add element, user field. That's what that is. Name. And I'm going to make this really big. I'm going to make it 60. And I'm going to make a slightly different shade of blue. And I'm going to, what did we have here? 100. I think that keeps it central. 140. So I'm trying to get it between the two elements that are already there. It's not in the centre. I need to change it. I mean, you realise that this could go on for 100. Oh no, why is it doing that? 100. What did I have before? 120 to make it central. Still not. Better. Oh no, it's not. It's gone further down. No, I'm getting it wrong. 110. No, still not. I'm just going to have to muck about with it. But if we come out and we look at the finished one, you'll see I eventually got things more or less where I wanted them to. I mean, it's debatable whether this is acceptable. It's not the prettiest of things. And the tiny little day, I don't know. But it's a start, and that gives you a big idea of how to do it. I hope that's helpful for you. Okay, so we're kind of fast forwarded now. I've spared you the agony of watching me trying to place the wording in the correct place on the certificate. I've got rid of the duplicate learner certificate, but I have added a teacher certificate. One to be, from a design point of view, it's no better than the other one. It's a sad thing. It's a truly sad thing. But you do need to practice at positioning, and then you can worry about things like font and colour schemes and things like that. So we've got these 2 certificates now, and now we're going to award them. What do you say we award them? Let's award to the student certificate first. So let's see. I'm going to go, lucky Andrea. I'm going to give it to Andrea. I'm sure she's absolutely delighted. And of course I could add a whole bunch of other people that I'll send one to myself. Expiry date, never. No, I'm not going to have an expiry date. Save. And these 2 lucky people have been awarded the learner certificate. Let's take its time. Okay, I think it's just my computer a little slow. Let's award the teacher certificate to a couple of teachers who, we see the preview, but we've already got quite a good idea of what it's going to look like. So that's what the teacher certificate looks like. I think my computer's a little tired. I would like to have a rest. So let's just award it to somebody. Issue 2. Okay, let's have Tawanda. Let's have Dr. Nelly. I think she deserves a teacher's certificate more than anybody. And to Mary Lee, there we go. And to, there's Elizabeth. And to Morgan. I saw Morgan's name. I've lost him. There he is. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of people now. I'm going to stick with the no expiry date. It's not ever going to expire. Just hit save, and with a great deal of patience, we wait for my computer to digest all of that. And so it's pretty straightforward, as you can see. Yeah, I think I'm going to say goodbye while my computer contemplates the trial of issuing certificates when it's so tired. Oh. The joy of living in Italy, scooters in the background. Okay, so hopefully that is fairly clear and helpful.